Hi there, I'm Rob Harrell, and I'm the author of the book Wink. And today I'm going to read you a chapter, actually the first chapter. So, first chapter is called Let's Get Radioactive. I'm lying on a steel table, all too aware of the giant ray gun pointed in my direction. It looks like one of those room-sized 5-ton laser things supervillains use in movies, the kind they threaten to destroy the planet with. What music are you into, Ross? I'm pretty sure the radiation tech is just trying to distract me as he bolts me down. A hard plastic mesh mask over my head and neck hold me still. They molded it to my face yesterday, and the tech struggles to click it onto the table. He scrunches his nose, pushing. There's a drawing that Ross did of the mask they're putting over his face. Oh, anything. Whatever. I mumble through my teeth. The hardened mask doesn't let my chin move much. The headpiece locks in, and the tech, Frank, gives my shoulder a bump with his fist. Come on, man. If you're going to lie here for half an hour, you need some tunes. I've got all kinds. Name something you like. There are no wrong answers. I scan my brain. Can you just KZAQ? Frank stops and doubles over at the waist like he's been gut punched. He hangs there talking to the floor. Okay, no wrong answers but that one. He straightens up and winces at me. Seriously? You like that top 40 garbage? It's what my parents have on all the time. Ugh, so dorky. I try to look away casually, but my head won't budge. Frank stares before letting out an exaggerated sigh. Fine, but tomorrow tell me what you like, not what Mom and Dad like. He walks over and fiddles with an old-timey boombox on a high wall shelf next to a teetering stack of CDs and cassette tapes. Seriously? There must be $1 gazillion worth of equipment in here and they can't afford an MP3 player? I notice a bit of a tattoo peeking out from the arm of Frank's scrubs. A lizard tail, maybe? Or a tentacle? Beyonce fills the room, and suddenly Frank is all business. I know we went over this yesterday, but let's review. He wraps his arm around his clipboard and begins, like he's done this 1,000 times. The gurney you're on is going to lift you up and move you into place. The treatment takes 25 minutes or so. Keep your limbs and naughty bits inside the ride at all times. Do not throw things at the radiation techs. Do not feed the radiation techs. Do not waggle your legs around like a synchronized swimmer. Do not pass go. Do not hum the Goo Goo Dolls, as I despise the Goo Goo Dolls. Frank steps aside to let another tech, Callie I think, reach in and mold some blue clay over the bridge of my nose. She smiles at me and tells me it's to protect my good eye from the beam. Then she pats my chest. I hope I don't look as nervous as I feel, because I feel like a rabbit in a trap. My face is hot. Okay, now for the important part. Frank is back. When I tell you, you're going to stare at the red X above you, the one we made over there by the big zapper yesterday. You'll see it when the machine slides you over. The mask prevents much of a nod, but he seems to catch it. Don't move your eye off of that X, or your eye will explode into 1,000,000 pieces like the Death Star, okay? I let out a little grunt. Frank puts his hand on my arm. I'm kidding, Russ. I mean, kind of. Don't look away from the X. Your eye won't explode, but we are dealing with your vision. Important stuff. So keep your eye on the X, or it could... Just keep your eye on the X and you'll be fine. Callie steps back in with a U-shaped attachment that looks like part of a kid's car seat. She fits it over my face and helps me slip the molded mouthpiece into my mouth. My teeth lock into it when I bite down, and she snaps the ends of the U onto the table. Ka-chunk. The table is attached to a huge mechanical arm, like something out of Star Trek. My nose itches. I couldn't move my head if I had to, and something about that makes me all squirmy inside. I feel like a bug on a dissecting table. Frank and Callie look down at me. You good? Callie squeezes one of my sock-covered toes. Need a blanket? Nah, I'm good. Okay. She tucks a lock of hair behind her ear and gives me a friendly smile. Everybody smiles a lot here, probably because they can tell I'm freaking out. We'll be right around the corner. You'll do great. Frank winks. No sweat. You'll see. They walk off to my left, but I can't turn my head to follow them. The lights dim slowly as Gwen Stefani starts singing about bananas. I'll admit it, it's a little freaky being the only one in here with all of this machinery, all this stuff. I close my eyes and let out a long breath. It shudders as it slowly comes out, which somehow takes my nerves up another notch. All right, Frank's voice squawks through a tinny speaker. We're gonna get started, Ross. Just relax and keep your eye on the red X. You're about to go for a ride. After a few seconds of silence, there are loud bangs and a revving sound. The entire room full of heavy machinery comes to life with beeping, whirring, and what might be big fans powering up. Maybe things heat up when the radiation gets going? I have no idea. Then the gurney shudders and I begin to rise. Frank comes through the speaker again. Houston, we have liftoff. So that's chapter 1. Go out and find Wink. Order it wherever you order books. Check out the rest. I think you're really going to like this one. And have fun reading. Okay? Thanks. So I'm going to give you a writing prompt here, and it's sort of based on, in my book, Wink. The character draws Bat Pig, which you may have seen in another video. But my writing prompt for you is to come up with an origin story for a superhero. It doesn't actually go into the origin story in the book, but I know Bat Pig's origin story, and I might tell that story later. So it's really, really fun to think about, Spider-Man got bitten by a radioactive spider. Batman was in a cave, I think. I'm not sure what all happened with Batman. That's a crazy story. So come up with your own origin story. Come up with a superhero, and then figure out how they became a superhero. How did they get their powers? It's really fun. So if you enjoy writing, keep after it. Keep practicing. It's one of my favorite things to do. I'm going to show you Ross here is the main character in the book, and Ross draws a character called Bat Pig. There's a picture of him real quick from the book, and he draws these comics starring Bat Pig, these little one-page comics. So here's Bat Pig versus the radioactive zapper. So I'm going to show you guys how to draw Bat Pig today, okay? So follow along with me. Now, one thing I draw on something called a Cintiq. It's like a computer monitor, but I can draw on the screen. So you're not actually gonna see me drawing, you'll just see what my pen is doing on the screen. I go in there and I draw it, I can sketch it if I want to, and then I can draw ink over it, and then I can color it. I can do all that right on the computer, which is really, really fun. So, but if you guys follow along, you can draw on whatever you have, doesn't matter, and let's get started. I'm gonna show you how to draw Bat Pig now. Okay. Here we are. I'm on my computer. You can actually see me moving my little cursor around, maybe not. Here's what I'm going to show you. So in here, I can draw right on the screen, and then if I want to undo that, I can just erase it. It's kind of nice. I love working on the computer. It saves a lot of time, and there's a lot of neat tools you can use. So if you use a really big thing, you can make the line real thick or real thin. It makes it fun to draw all kinds of cartoons. So anyway, but we're here to draw Bat Pig. So let me show you how I do that. I think today we will draw Bat Pig in a happy mood. So I always start with Bat Pig's cowl. I don't know why they call it, but that's the only reason I know the word cowl is from Batman comics. So I always start with that, and that sort of helps me figure out where everything else is going to be. Bat Pig has his cowl. He has real simple eyes. Now I will say this, a lot of time with other illustrations, I will real carefully sketch it, make it look all perfect. But when I'm drawing Bat Pig, it's actually one of Ross's characters, and I figure he's just sketching it in a sketchbook, so it doesn't have to be 100% perfect. So I just kind of wing it when I draw Bat Pig. So in some ways, there's no wrong way. Uh-oh, I missed a spot there when I filled in. Okay, there's no wrong way to draw Bat Pig, really, I think, is something that I'm saying. Anyway, okay, here we go. So here comes his snout. Now, Bat Pig is Ross's character that he draws in the book, and it's kind of a way that he thinks about what he's going through. He's going through some treatments and having some troubles at school, and instead of getting all bent out of shape about it sometimes, he does sort of the healthier thing and goes and draws Bat Pig comics about the situation. So that's kind of a nice lesson there. The drawing can be an escape and a way to sort of process your feelings as you're working through. Okay, so that's going to be his cape. So I put the little ties there like he's tied it in front of him. We'll go back to that. So I'm going to draw his arm here. There's his little, he wears black gloves. And they have kind of a reflection on them, so I do this where I don't fill in the whole thing. That's the same thing I did up here on the cowls. I left a little highlight, like there's some light hitting it. That's just a little trick I've learned from years of doing cartoons. Okay, so I'm gonna give him his cape coming back here. Again, never be too careful when you're drawing Bat Pig. Sometimes I give him like these little extra lines and stuff just to rough him up a little bit, like make it look like his uniform's kind of worn down, and I kind of like to think of him as a low-rent superhero. You know, like not the top tier. Maybe his uniform's a little dirty and he needs a new one. But Bat Pig here, he has superpowers. You know, he can fly, he can take care of the bad guys. That's all you need in a superhero, so you can take care of the bad guys. All right, so because I'm working on my computer, I can move this up a little bit to give him some more room for his legs. So let's move him up here. Okay. I want his legs to come down here. They're they start wide and they get pointy real quick. So they come down to these tiny little boots. I think I'm gonna have him walking, strutting. Tiny little boot there. Again, you notice I'm not being too perfect with the boots. Or with anything here. I'm just having fun. And that's what it reminds me of the comics I used to draw when I was in school, and I would draw on the margins of my books, and, well, not in my books, my notebooks. Don't draw on the margins of your books. That's not good. Okay. There he is. I'll put a little shadow under him, maybe some grass, so you know he's standing somewhere. And then, here's a neat trick. Just draw a horizon line in the background. Already it looks like he's standing in a field somewhere. And then if you add some little curly lines back there, maybe some shading, kind of looks like a bush in the background. I like these kind of trees, these big tall trees. I don't know where you see trees like that. I guess an evergreen. All right, and I'll put another bush over here. And then I give a few lines for grass. I always think that helps. Maybe a bird in the sky. And there you go. There's Bat Pig. And Bat Pig is very proud of himself a lot of times. That's one of the funny things about him. He's sort of got a big ego. So I'll give him that. Have him thinking just that he's proud. It's a proud Bat Pig. And then don't forget to sign your drawing when you get done. I always do it down in the bottom right-hand corner. That's just how I was taught when I was in art school. So there you go. That's how you draw Bat Pig. And if you get a chance, send me something on Twitter. I'm easy to find. I'm at Harrell Rob on Twitter. Have you or your parents can load up some Bat Pig drawings. I would love, love, love to see them. So that's how you draw Bat Pig. Signing off now, I am Rob Harrell, and go look for the book Wink. I think you're going to like it.